Thank you once again for clicking on an episode of Side Flick. Let's talk about some movie news. Some of the things we're going to be talking about here today is we got the official announcement that Talk to Me will be getting a sequel. We got Sonic the Hedgehog 3 looking to find a way to film the movie even during the strike. Marvel VFX workers are looking to unionize and fight for the rights to stop being abused by these bigger companies. Really, that along with so much more, so make sure you guys leave me your opinions down below with everything we discuss here today. Not a whole lot of movie news here, I'll admit that, but it's always a good excuse just to hang out for a little bit. So let's dive into our first story with Blue Beetle. Woo, things are looking better for my boy Jaime Reyes here because Blue Beetle at one point was looking to be one of the most embarrassing flops in DC history. We know not a lot of people are aware of this hero, and with all the mix-up going on in DC where people don't even know, do I just wait to watch Superman Legacy? Is this world rebooted? Is it not? Is he part of the new universe? What's going on here? Blue Beetle at first was looking to have a mere sad box office opening of about 15 to maybe 17 million dollars at tops. But now, thanks to a new report here at Deadline, those projections have now doubled. Blue Beetle looks to fly to 30 million US opening. Now again, this is still not like groundbreaking or giant, but it is a step in the right direction. I mean, I've been getting hyped for this movie. The other day I went to my local Cinemark and look, I picked me up that Blue Beetle popcorn bucket. This thing is awesome. Look at that. That thing opens up. That's so cool. I can't wait to get the AMC one. A 30 million opening would at least put it into a modest opening where it looks like it does have the chance to at least break even. That is, if the movie is at least good, because it looks like some people have gotten the chance to see Blue Beetle, but they are still keeping reviews under embargo, so we haven't gotten a lot of reactions, which is maybe a little scary, because if the movie is great, wouldn't they want to tell people way ahead of time already? Since the movie's like out in about a week and a half. But the reason I bring up Blue Beetle again is because they've already said it multiple times. Blue Beetle is going to be part of the new DCU. The biggest difference the movie being a hit or a flop is going to make is whether we get another solo Blue Beetle movie or Blue Beetle just becomes a side character that pops up in random projects. To me, I'm just the most excited that it's not going to look like a complete flop and embarrassment. 30 million is still respectable and nice. Sure, it's not going to make all its money on opening weekend, but it has the potential now to at least get close to that. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Is your hype for Blue Beetle getting up there? You still just don't care about this movie? What do you think made the projections kind of jump? Was it the Blue Beetle burger? Was the fake meme working? I mean, they made a poster hinting to the Blue Beetle burger, so somebody somewhere saw it. Jumping on to our next movie news topic here, A24 came out and announced it. We are going to be getting a sequel to Talk to Me. The Hollywood Reporter has it here. Talk to Me sequel in the works from A24, Danny and Michael Philippou to return. So I know we still got a lot of other horror movies coming out right now, but I would say Talk to Me is one of the better horror movies of this year, if not the best. I think the only one that would maybe take its place is I was like a huge fan of Evil Dead Rise. I thought that film was just awesome. But whatever the case, it's pretty cool that Talk to Me got officially announced, the sequel. Now, there's a couple of things to talk about this. One, I have seen some people confused or wondering, like, how could they even make a sequel? Where would that story go? The ending was so off. I feel like Talk to Me is built to have like 1,000 movies. Because again, I don't really want to spoil what happens in the movie if you haven't seen it yet, but essentially they set up a world where with the hand that is responsible for a lot of chaos in this movie, it's a hand with a mysterious past and it has a mysterious future. This is a hand that can be tossed around to different groups of people all around the world. In fact, the little teaser they let out for Talk to Me 2 really gives us a big hint to what we're going to explore in the second movie. Let me play it for you.
I heard it was the hand of a Satanist. And the other hand's just out there.
That was a line mentioned in the movie where the characters were trying to guess, where this hand came from, what the rumors are about it. And they said, they think it belonged to a hand of a Satanist and that maybe there's another hand somewhere out there. And I think there we go. That's our plot for the second movie is we're not going to be following the hand of the first film. We're going to be finding the other hand somewhere out there and who has it. And when I was watching the first Talk to Me, that's what intrigued me about it is the mystery behind the hand, where it comes from, why it has these evil abilities. And does the second hand have other abilities? Don't even get me started on what would happen if we take both hands and combine them together. Then probably some real chaotic stuff would happen. Could we even throw other body parts in there, like a foot, someone's severed ear, or you know what body part I'm talking about? Yeah, I'm not touching that. So honestly, I'm very excited, and I know because it's A24, we will have those film bros that go, oh, it should have just been one and done. Why do they got to do this? A24 has been lucky enough to make all of these, really random, experimental, great dramatic films, but they can only continue to keep taking those risks and bring us such original films if they also make money. So if you're like an A24 fan and you still want this company to thrive and succeed, you're gonna have to let them franchise a little bit. You're gonna have to let them make sequels. That's the excuse Pixar use and why they milk Toy Story all the time, so that they can risk making new original animated movies that actually don't do that great at the box office, but they bring out a Cars 2, 3, or a Toy Story 4 or 5, and all that money comes in and they can continue making original projects. So yeah, I'm down for this, and congrats to the Rocka brothers, man. YouTubers are succeeding. Let me know if you guys are excited for Talk to Me Too and what you think the potential is. Moving on here, talking about our favorite little blue hedgehog, Sonic Movie 3. Oh, there's been some interesting updates with this movie. So like earlier in the month, we were getting these mysterious set photos landing online of like the Sonic props of Knuckles and Tails in the forest. Because these photos were only discovered recently, but they were actually taken months ago and just discovered as part of a Facebook group, people didn't know if they were part of the Knuckles film set or maybe they were early things getting ready to be filmed for Sonic 3 before the strike. Either way, we now have a much more clear answer to what's going to be going down with Sonic Movie 3, because they were set to start filming this month in August, but because of the strike and that's stopping a lot of the actors from being in movies, it didn't look like that would happen, but they found a loophole. Thanks to an article here from Screen Daily, they detail some of the movies that are still trying to get made during the strike, and they say here, sources say Paramount's Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is gearing up to shoot scenes not involving actors from September, essentially letting us know that we are gonna see Sonic 3 begin filming. They're just gonna film all the stuff that doesn't include the human actors, and that's already confused a lot of people. It's like, what? How could you film the movie without any humans? It's like, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles aren't real. I'm sorry to break it to you.
That wasn't real. Who cares?
Don't say that. Please don't say that. It was real. It was real to me.
The movies are filmed using realistic environments, and then later with digital effects, they add in Sonic, Tails, Knuckles into those shots. So it looks like they're gonna film all the scenes where the humans aren't really included, and we just have Knuckles, running through a forest, running through the inside of his living room or kitchen, his bedroom. You still have to get the physical shots of that stuff so that you can later make digital effects, and that's probably a good way to get ahead of things. That way they're not losing on time and money. Once the strike is over, then they'll probably bring in, like, James Marsden's Donut Lord or all those other characters. Who knows if Jim Carrey's coming back to play Robotnik. So yeah, that's kind of cool. If anything, that gets me a little excited to see if we'll start to see set photos of the prop that they'll use for Shadow, because even though they'll start filming and doing all that, don't expect an announcement to be made about who's going to be voicing Shadow, because unless they already had that contract done before the strike, it's not really something smart that they should announce now. The voice of Shadow will most likely be announced once the strike is over and they can finalize a deal with some actor, and that's going to be exciting to see who they decide to voice there. So yeah, Sonic Movie 3 is going to start filming. It'll just be with the CGI characters, and then later on they'll come in and throw in the human actors. Let me know what you guys think about them pulling this loophole. Bringing us here to an interesting article with VFX artists that looks like they're trying to unionize against Marvel and other big studios. This feels like it's something that has been a long time coming, and I'm kind of surprised there wasn't already a union for VFX workers. If you've been following along with Marvel behind the scenes stuff, or really any major Hollywood studio, you would see there's a lot of complaints in the VFX departments about how much time they are given to complete a work, how much it takes away from their personal lives. They are overworked, tired, and somewhat underpaid. In a statement made here by a VFX coordinator, they said turnaround time doesn't apply to us, protected hours doesn't apply to us, and pay equity doesn't apply to us. Visual effects must become a sustainable and safe department for everyone who suffered far too long, and for all newcomers who need to know they won't be exploited. Marvel has definitely been guilty of this, and really the superhero boom is kind of like a giant cause of it. Like, you go back and look at some visual effects heavy movies that came out in the last like 7-5 years, you could tell projects were given ample time to be finished where the VFX didn't look bad. Like, I thought that way when watching the recent Michael Bay Ninja Turtle movies. Like, the effects look so good, and I feel like we haven't had VFX that stunning in some of the most modern projects because they have to rush through them and just get them done in such a short period of time. I think this is really smart. I just wonder how much this will change things, what kind of rules will come in, and would this really really mean they'd have to stop production on a lot of upcoming things? Because I think next year is a record-breaking year for most superhero movies coming out in a single year. I also think back of like the sad stories we've heard over the years, other than just, VFX workers that have come out and exposed Marvel's working conditions, or even like in the Spider-Verse movies, how hard they had to work non-stop without any breaks. I remember even like the studio that was responsible for fixing the Sonic design and making a lot of fans happy, that studio ended up shutting down. Like, there's no real protection for these VFX workers, and it's like such an offhand job that gets abused a lot, not just by the studios, but sometimes by the people running them. So yeah, I feel like this is definitely something that needs to happen. I'm just wondering if it'll actually come to fruition, and when it does, how does this impact then the movies being made and little things that they have to change for these people to be treated fairly. Only time will really tell, but these are big steps, and it's gonna change Hollywood a little bit if it actually goes down. But that's all the movie news we're currently have going on right now, guys. I do want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Let me know your thoughts on everything we discussed here today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.